Well, that's me exercise my democratic right for the UK general election 2017. So, the general election has started. The voting's gone, and they've had the exit poll. Now, before I say the exit poll, obviously you know it by now, but I predict, and I'll say this now, that it will be, I think it will be status quo in regards to the Tory majority, with the slight chance of a hung parliament. I think that might be the case. But the exit poll is actually quite a shock. 314 Conservative, 266 Labour, 34 SNP, which makes me think Scotland's a bit more important than I thought it was going to be, because that means where those 22 seats that the SNP got last time, where have they gone? Is it all Tory? Is it Lib Dem? Is it Labour? Where's they gone? Then we've got 14 for the Lib Dems, which suggests maybe Lib Dems have picked up seats maybe in Scotland, so that's becoming their heartland. And then you've got the other parties, virtually no change. The only difference, I don't know what the Northern Ireland breakdown is, they haven't said that, but the only difference I would say is that there's no UKIP seat this time round, so that's possibly where the Tories maybe picked up a seat somewhere. But if that is true, that is more surprising than I ever expected. And it makes me think that the young vote has come out. I don't know what the turnout is, that's still to come. But oh my word, that's a shock. Okay, so it's over. And it was an interesting result last night. I wasn't expecting it to be so close. Shocked and stunned. My prediction wasn't quite right. The Tories didn't quite get the majority. Not on their own. The seats were as follows. The Conservatives, 318. Labour, 261. The SNP, 35. The Liberal Democrats, 12. The Democratic Unionist Party, that's Northern Ireland, 10. Sinn Féin, that's Northern Ireland, 7. Plaid Cymru, 4. That's the best result they've had in years. The Green Party, 1. And other parties, which was an independent in Northern Ireland, 1. So, yeah, quite a few surprises. Now, the Scottish seats finished with 35 for the SNP, 13 for the Tories. Now, the Conservatives won 3 seats in South of Scotland, Dumfries and Galloway, Dumfries, Clydesdale and Tweeddale, which they won last time. So they retained their seat with a bigger majority. David Mundell had a majority of about 10,000 this time round, not close or anything like last time. And the Berwickshire Roxburgh one was also went Tory. The one that was interesting was the seat between the seat in North East Fife between the SNP and Liberal Democrats. The Liberal Democrats lost it by 2 votes. I believe that's the smallest majority in the United Kingdom. I believe that's the smallest majority. Since I've been asleep and I've woken up again, it seems very much like Theresa May's already done a deal with a confidence supply vote with the Democratic Unionist Party, so she will be able to govern as a minority government with the DUP's help. So it is a Conservative government. That was expected, maybe not with such a small, maybe with a bit more of a strength to them, but that is happening. Social media has a lot of vitriol in it this morning. A lot of people who did not like the Conservatives getting seats in Scotland, but there's a couple of factors there. Labour, as a Scottish force, benefited from the Corbyn bounce. They didn't really have their own strength. You've got to remember that a lot of the seats that the Conservatives, Labour and the SNP took weren't exactly thumping majorities last time round. Some of them were actually quite marginal, and those seats were taken. Also, you've got to remember that last time was a completely different political landscape with the back of the Indie referendum. This time round, Brexit played a part. A second Indie referendum was playing a part. There's lots of factors. These seats won't probably stay the colour that they are. They're either going to be going back to SNP next time round, or they're going to go between another party and themselves. The SNP are on the wane, but not massively. They still are a political force in Scotland, but they may have to realign their politics a little bit. Biggest shot of the night, has to be the result, of course. But for the MPs, couple of the squeaky bums. The Lanark and Hamilton East seat, 3 parties were within 400 votes of each other. That was very squeaky bum. The SNP still won that. The sign of things to come was the Labour win in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. Alex Salmon losing his seat up in Gordon, along with Alistair Carmichael keeping his. And then you've got Angus Robertson, the leader of the SNP in Westminster, who lost his seat as well, both to the Conservatives. I think the biggest shock down south, or the biggest surprise down south, or biggest story, was Nick Clegg, the former leader of the Liberal Democrats and former Deputy Prime Minister, who lost a seat in Sheffield Hallam. He lost it to Labour. And the story was, basically, if it wasn't for Scotland getting an additional 12 Tory seats, you could be potentially seeing a very interesting coalition elsewhere. Didn't quite happen, but I tell you one thing, Jeremy Corbyn is vindicated. He's been vindicated with his campaign, vindicated with his leadership, and I don't think you're going to see a challenge to him for a very long time to come now. I think he's going to be there for at least the next 12 months, if not longer. They're already predicting another general election within 12 months. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll find that they're going to hold on now and limp along until Brexit's done. But it changes the Brexit conversation just slightly, because Theresa May cannot be so defiant. She has to change her tact here, otherwise there could be a little more of a backlash going on. Well, oh my word, what a night. I think I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for watching, if you have, and I hope you enjoyed this. Leave your comments on what you thought of the election below, of course. You can speak to me on all the social media sites as well. And don't forget to subscribe below if you don't already, because more videos like this will come up on a weekly basis. I post videos at 7 PM GMT. Next week is a Doctor Who related video. Finally, the review of Death comes out. And I shall see you next time. See you later.